Tonight, one Hot 7 News reporter on an investigative mission to find out about a robbery at a secondary school on Island stumbles upon information of another break-in, this time at the District 2 Education Office. Dominican Senior Counsel Anthony Astefan is disappointed in CARICOM leaders who have agreed to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump as a small select group.
The Prime Minister, and in particular the Prime Minister from the OECS, has showed complete disrespect for the unity of the OECS and CARICOM.
And the CARIForum, EU Economic Partnership Agreement, Brexit, and potential trade negotiations were among some of the issues discussed during the 25th CARIForum meeting held in St. Lucia. The details of these stories and more are coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovely and Amy Joseph.
Good evening. It is Thursday, the 21st of March 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 Nightly News. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. Today, the 21st of March at about 2 p.m., the Royal St. Lucia Police Force released a statement about a bomb hoax and attempted suicide. It reads, quote, "On Wednesday, the 20th of March 2019, Riani Isidore of Bishop's Gap was arrested and charged for the offenses of bomb hoaxes and attempted suicide in relation to this incident. He was escorted to the 1st District Court, where he was granted bail on 2 counts of bomb hoaxes in the sum of $2,500 each, cash or suitable surety, and on his own recognizance in the charge of attempted suicide. According to Section 362, Article 2 of the Criminal Code, it states, a person who communicates any information which he or she knows or believes to be false to another person with the intention of inducing in him or her or any other person a false belief that a bomb or other thing likely to explode or ignite is planted in any place or location is liable on conviction on indictment to imprisonment for 5 years or on summary conviction to imprisonment for 2 years. Section 94 of the Criminal Code states, a person who aids and abets the commission of suicide by any person, whether or not the suicide is actually committed, is liable on indictment to imprisonment for 20 years. Attempts to commit suicide, liable on conviction on indictment to imprisonment for 2 years. End quote. That was a statement by the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. Now, in other news, with the recent robbery of the Cicero Secondary School, the Hot 7 crew attempted to get further information on school safety procedures. On our investigative quest, our crew stumbled upon another break-in and entry, but this time it was not at one of the local schools. Solange Alfred tells us more.
We're standing outside of the Ministry of Education, where Hot 7 TV has tried to ascertain further information regarding a security breach at the Cicero Secondary School. This attempt led us to the District 2 office in search of a source that could provide us with further information on security measures in the school system. However, on entering into the District 2 office, we found out that there was also a break-in and entering at that location. In speaking with our source, we were told that we had to return to the Ministry of Education, where we then had a sit-down off-camera interview with one Mr. Kendall Kodra. Kodra, who is the Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, indicated that reports have not been forthcoming with the Cicero Secondary School, so to provide Hot 7 with additional information could not happen. However, in regards to school measures and a new security plan, he did provide us with ample information. Kodra highlighted that as of last year, 25 school security guards have been trained, with another cohort of guards to be trained this year. He said the intention remains to have all the security guards trained. The DPS noted that efforts will also be made to enhance the infrastructure of schools, which will include the addition of CCTV cameras, as well as school fencing for all institutions. As to a possible timeline for the implementation of these initiatives, the DPS asserted that the Ministry of Education is currently looking to partner up with various stakeholders who would be able to assist in providing the necessary funding that works towards getting the ball rolling on strengthening the school security system. Kodra went on to highlight another challenge that plagues school security. He said that security lighting or the lack of security lighting adds to the problem of school safety. He said that with most robberies occurring during the late nights or wee hours of the morning, the issue should be seen as one more of a preventative than protective nature. Furthermore, the DPS stated that continued dialogue between the Commissioner of Police and the Minister for Education looks to help with the management of the current unfavorable security situation. Meanwhile, on the issue of the breaking and entering at the District 2 office, Kodra decided to hold off on providing any additional information. As he explained, the proper reports had not yet been filed and any information would be sheer speculation. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solaj Alfred.
Dominican Senior Counsel Anthony Astafan is disappointed in CARICOM leaders who have agreed to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump as a small select group. He says while the U.S. President can invite who he wants, the leaders of St. Lucia, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and the Bahamas should have demonstrated the moral and political courage to say to the U.S. President that they cannot speak for CARICOM and to demand that the CARICOM chairman also be invited. Dominican Senior Counsel Anthony Astafan has strong views on Friday's scheduled meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump and 5 Caribbean leaders at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida. The discussions will focus on issues ranging from Venezuela, Chinese economic intervention in the Caribbean, and security in the region. Astafan says regional leaders have shown complete disrespect for the unity of CARICOM and even the OECS by deciding to go to a meeting and neglecting the fact that the chairman of CARICOM is not invited. He argues that none of the selected prime ministers who will meet President Trump have the authority or the jurisdiction to speak on behalf of CARICOM.
They certainly cannot speak on behalf of St. Vincent, Antigua, St. Kitts, Dominica, and the others, and Grenada. They don't have the authority to. So that is just, to me, a cosmic appearance of some formal sort of meeting. And to me, it's meaningless. In fact, I think the prime ministers, and in particular the prime minister from the OECS, has showed complete disrespect for the unity of the OECS and CARICOM. The president can really invite who he wants. But the prime ministers from CARICOM are the ones with the obligation and the duty and the decency to make a calculated decision on the basis of respect for the unity of CARICOM and CARICOM. So as I said, the Prime Minister may invite who he wants, but those that are invited must have the moral courage, the political courage to indicate that they cannot speak for CARICOM, they're not authorized to speak for CARICOM or for the OECS.
There is particular concern about what discussions the U.S. President will hold on the issue of political intervention in Venezuela. Caribbean leaders remain divided on the subject. In January, Jamaica, St. Lucia, Haiti, the Bahamas, and Guyana supported a resolution at the level of the Organization of American States, OAS, in not recognizing the presidency of Nicolas Maduro as legitimate. Dominica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Suriname voted against the measure. St. Kitts and Nevis, Trinidad and Tobago, Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, and Belize abstained during the vote. Grenada was not present. Astafan says unity within the CARICOM grouping must be addressed not only in light of this matter, but given the stance of some countries on other issues. According to him, on the issue of the European Union blacklisting countries of the region as tax havens, some countries are acting only in their interest.
You cannot be a lone ranger in Caribbean politics if in fact you're part of the OECS and CARICOM. We must now address seriously the whole question of the unity of the OECS and the unity of CARICOM, because we don't have a unified position on the European Union blacklisting because some countries are acting very selfishly. We don't have a common position on LIAT because Alan Chastney has his own pipe dream. We don't have a common position right now on almost anything of political importance to the people of the Caribbean.
The White House has said in a statement that during the meeting with the 5 Caribbean leaders, President Trump will reaffirm the strong friendship with and commitment to these countries and signal the importance of the Caribbean to the hemisphere. As the current occupiers of the chair of CARI Forum, the government of St. Lucia is playing host to the 25th meeting of the Council of Ministers of CARIFORUM. On the table for urgent discussion is the post-Cotonou negotiations, Brexit, and the implementation of the CARIFORUM European Union Economic Partnership Agreement, among other pressing issues. Solange Alfred reports.
CARIFORUM refers to the body of Caribbean ACP states which are signatories of the Georgetown Agreement. This agreement, signed in 1975, created the African, Caribbean and Pacific Group of States, ACP, which is made up of 79 Caribbean, Pacific and African states. At this year's 25th meeting of the Council of Ministers of CARIFORUM, all but one state was present, the Bahamas. The prestigious gathering was held at Harbor Club in Rodney Bay and offered Minister of Commerce and Chairperson of the Council of Ministers, Bradley Felix, the opportunity to outline the importance of the meeting in regards to addressing a number of distressing issues affecting member states.
It is my privilege to serve as the chair of this 25th meeting of the Council of Ministers, and I must say how grateful I am that we have finally been able to convene this 25th meeting of the Council of Ministers of CARIFORUM. This meeting presents an opportune time to discuss important issues of concern. The decisions we make, the actions we take, and the conclusions we arrive at will have implications for the people of the Caribbean and can impact in a positive or a negative way on the lives of the people we represent.
Up for discussion was the signing of the CARIFORUM European Economic Partnership Agreement, which Felix says would ensure the protection of member states regardless of the comings and goings on an international level.
It is now up to us, politicians, to sign this agreement now or make arrangements to sign as soon as possible so that whatever happens in the United Kingdom or between the United Kingdom and Europe, our trade is protected and the livelihoods of our people are guaranteed. The UK is our largest trading partner in the European Union, and we must therefore ensure that we take action to safeguard our continued preferential access to that market, to ensure that our exporters and our traders can continue to do business in the UK market. In practical terms, that means protecting the interests of our banana farmers, our rum producers and exporters, agro-processors, and any other interests in St. Lucia and the rest of CARIFORUM trading with the United Kingdom.
The ACP-EU Partnership Agreement is said to encompass a host of new assurances.
The agreement covers a range of commitments in sectors that were not included under previous trade arrangements between the EU and the ACP group. This includes trade in services, innovation and intellectual property, competition and transparency and government procurement.
Furthermore, Felix added that the meeting offered the opportunity to discuss whether the agreement has had any impact on the lives of individuals in the member states. He stated that doing so will allow for economic operators to be effectively optimized in the hopes of maximizing the effects it has for job creation and trade investment. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
You're watching the Hot 790 News. When we come back, the chairman of the St. Lucia Fire Service Association says frankly and without mincing words, it's not enough. Stay with us.